see.
Hey, can you hear us? Can you see us?
Yes, I can see you. And I can hear you. So
Awesome.
good afternoon, people, wonderful people. It is Saturday, July 10th, 2021. Welcome to Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine. Your host, me, Camila, Kamilah. For you all those who really want to know what my real name is. But if you can't pronounce it, we're just gonna keep it at Sunshine. Can't go wrong with that. If you want to have me advertise, you want to be a sponsor to the show, please call me on my cell phone, 313-949-5768. You can inbox me on my Facebook page, which is Sunshine Camila, Kamela. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Again, it is Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine. Now that I have said that, again, this show has been in existence since the beginning of December of last year. I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're one person away, one advice away, one help away where you need to be in your destiny. And after I say all of that, I tell you how I know my guests. Well, today, my first set of guests, we are actually related. Yay. Let's see, we have Deon and Derrica Hamilton.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, y'all?
I'm so geeked about this conversation. I put together a series of questions about being family first. You guys I have been watching y'all for a minute. And I'm very proud of you guys or how you are mending together as one, as well as raising your children. And yes, I might not say nothing all the time, but yes, I am watching. And this is where we say that it's always good to, put your best foot forward because you don't know who's watching. There are some things that you guys do that I am very inspired about when my children get here. One thing I have noticed with you guys is you're very adventurous. Every time I look up, you guys are on some type of adventure. You're outside, you're doing something together. And it's good to see families doing things together.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So how have you guys been doing enjoying this wonderful Saturday?
It's been good. It's been good. Had a dentist appointment earlier and took the girls too, and no cavities for the girls at least. I have one little minor one, but no, all is well. Just enjoying the Saturday. Not too busy. Just more so relaxing. You know?
And while they were out, man, got lunch together, folded clothes, and then was actually on a call for a ministry that a friend of mine is over. So that was a 2-hour call. And then the family came back, fed everybody, got everybody ready for nap, and now we're here on the call.
Right.
You gotta breathe, you know.
So with being with family being first, a lot of things that you're instilling in your girls, is this something that you guys experience as growing up individually with your own families?
Yes and no. I mean, you know, we're on a journey, right? Like everybody else. So when it comes to, you know, God, when it comes to our marriage, when it comes to raising children, we're trying to figure this thing out just like the next person, you know? So I would say there's been aspects, you know, I speak myself, there's been aspects of my childhood that has, you know, helped me and contributed to me being who I am today in a positive way. And there's some, you know, negative things that, you know, has an effect as well. All of us are a combination of our experiences and perspectives and everything like that. So I would say, you know, we're trying to take the good experiences, the good things, and add to it as we continue to learn in terms of what children really need, how to support them emotionally so that they can be whole, healthy individuals. So yeah, we're dedicated to kind of pursuing those avenues and just helping to raise strong, whole women. At the end of the day. So.
Yeah, well, pretty much same here. All experiences make you who you are. Obviously, you've got a chance to see from the outside, our family dynamics and things like that. So the cool thing is that we got a chance to learn a lot, being prepared to walk into this experience and to just give something different. When you know better, you try to do better. So I'm grateful for that, just that intention and being intentional about moving forward and seeing what can help a person be better as a grown up. So a family unit, mom and dad being together on the same page as something we've been intentional about since day one, since being engaged, since coming together, since courting, letting each other know that is what's important for us, understanding that importance of that unit, how much it's the foundation, how it's important even beyond the years of that child leaving your home. Everything comes back to that connection to mom and dad as connection as husband and wife. So keeping that in the forefront, following God and his word that he's left us. So yeah.
Good. That great answer.
Amen.
You guys have been together for how many years now?
So we're coming up on our 11th wedding anniversary. So
Okay.
11 years married, and I would say for that, we were.
Let's see, 02. We knew each other.
So we've known each other since 2002. So about half, or just about over half of our lives.
Right.
We didn't really start dating until 2007 a little bit, on and off a little bit.
Yeah.
And I would say it didn't really get serious or real.
Click.
Until
a couple years after that, right?
Yeah, probably 2008, 2008, 2009.
And then we were married in 2010.
Yeah.
It happens that way. Sometimes I've noticed that when you're young, especially in your 20s, early 20s, we think we have arrived and we know ourselves. And sometimes, your appetite changes and you be like, you know what? I need a break for a minute, trying to figure out, is this, really what I want? And then sometimes later on, as we say, God brings it full circle. And then, for sure, you didn't already separated, came back like, this is definitely it. And so again, I didn't know that you guys were together that long. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And you guys both graduated from that school, right?
Go Green.
Go White.
Michigan State University. That's the school. Michigan State University. Yes.
It couldn't even come out my mouth. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We got you. We got
you. Everybody needs a little prayer at times.
It wouldn't come up, that school.
Michigan State University. I help you out again.
I'm getting choked up. Sorry.
So funny.
So with you guys being both graduates from that school,
Michigan State University. We'll help you out. We'll walk through this. Michigan State University. Yeah, go ahead.
So how has it been very important as far as jobs or important to instill like education into your girls?
Well, yeah. So I guess I can say from Michigan State, I got hired on with Siemens, and I've been with them ever since Michigan State. So actually next week it'll be 14 years with Seaman. So, obviously there's stability that comes with that, which we're grateful for. But yeah, just, as it relates to our daughters, just, it starts by meeting them where they're at, right? And helping them be responsible for the areas that they can control or be responsible for. So, just kind of being intentional on that. They're learning how to count money and things like that. So as they continue to grow, we'll definitely continue to pour into them, some financial wisdom and education and stuff like that. But it's really just meeting the child where they're at right now. Right now, it's, hey, pick up your toys when you're done, playing. Put this back. Put your clothes down to shoot. So it's like little things right now that they can learn how to be responsible over, and I think that's a pretty key ingredient in raising someone that is responsible and can handle responsibility and manage it well.
And then even along with that, we always talk about the sailboat anchor concept when it comes to us. He's been in the same place for 14 years. That's not my story. So with education, which I'm so grateful for, it provides flexibility. You can navigate, you have freedom to navigate. You have a lot of skills that you can pull out of your pocket. At one point, I taught. At another point, I worked in management. At another, just random experience in photography. So education, the more that you educate yourself, which is not all confined just to the institution itself, but always finding whatever you're interested in, learning about it and growing about it. And you have more flexibility. So, of course, that spills over into economics and attainment and things like that, but just flexibility as you navigate what you want to do, even if it's for a season or for long term.
Okay, which is a good thing. In the meantime, I'm like going back and forth with I don't think people are texting me saying that it's not live on Facebook for whatever reason. So I'm trying to fix that, but it's live on everything else but Facebook. While I'm doing that, something that I noticed again when I first came on, they say you guys are very adventurous. I've seen you guys with with bees. I've seen you out gardening. I've seen you out doing all types of things. And your girls are how old?
5 and 7.
5 and 7. So with them, do you know if there are any fears with them right now?
Oh yeah. I don't know how to explain it. They go through waves. Like there's when they start out, they're fearless. You can't tell them they can't swim. You can't tell them, you set the boundaries. And then all of a sudden this random fear comes out of nowhere. I'm scared of worms, but I'm not scared of bees. I'm not scared of sharks. I want to go swimming with sharks. I want to go do this, but they have some sort of moment that tells them that they're scared. So it goes in waves. It goes in waves. It's just a matter of being consistent as mom. So, okay, you're scared. Today you're scared. But, at this moment. But
and I would just say just helping them manage it, helping them manage their fear, recognizing that fear is an okay emotion, but obviously we don't want to stay in that state. So how can we make progress in moving past that, and that's an everyday journey, with us. And we just had a girl that was looking through her collard greens, make sure there's no caterpillars, because we eat a lot from the garden and from the farmers markets, and sometimes daddy might miss something,
Right.
So yeah, just helping them manage, helping them get through it, and
Now, from a person from the outside looking in, I would think your girls were fearless, like seriously. Me personally, I'm not about to be around no bees. I'm not doing it as a grown person. Being out in in the garden, it's something different. Of course, you know, you hands on with my sister, with my niece and nephew. Me personally, that wasn't my forte. Now, if I'm gonna be outside, I would be playing sports, but I wouldn't be in the garden. So with them being 7 and 5, I would think from watching them, you know, in the pictures or things of that nature, I would think they have no fear at all. So to
Nah,
say that they have something, I am shocked. Like
oh yeah,
seriously.
nah,
shocked.
yeah, and I think you know that is probably true for all children at some point. Everybody, I mean, fear is a part of human nature, right? So everybody ends up having fear at some point based on whatever experience that for them is a fearful experience, you know. So, you know, they may have some fears that other kids may not have, you know, and they may not have some fears that other kids may have, you know. So it's just, you know, keeping them exposed to a wide range of things. And then when they do become afraid, helping them realize it's okay. And again, just helping them manage through it and then, you know, get through it. So.
And then also something being intentional about. So mom has fears, okay? And what I realized, if I had encountered things a lot earlier, I may not have developed or had those fears.
Okay.
So one of the things, for example, mom can't swim. I've taken one class as an adult. It still ain't happened yet. So I said, you know, maybe with our kids, we need to start them young. So by the time they're my age, that fear's not there and they can do it while mom is still working at it.
Right,
so,
right.
You know, so, and then like even with some of the more adventurous things like bees, I developed an interest in bees about 4 years ago. So it was, okay, let me invite them along the experience, because when I was coming up as a kid, it was a very fearful thing. You know, we were running from bee stings, you know, not realizing, okay, maybe they might be more afraid of me. That's why I'm in their turf, you know, in their way. And I got stung because I'm over there, didn't know that. But we spent our childhood running from bees. So once I developed that interest, and I said, hey, I can bring the kids. Let's get them some suits. Come on, y'all. Let's all go to the hives. You know, so it's more like bring them on the journey until they say, this ain't for me. So we got a little time before they get there.
And that's a good point, because me and my sister was talking, I want to say today or yesterday. We were talking about facing the fears. My sister is afraid of heights. So as a kid, we would go to Cedar Point. She would stay in line with us the whole time. And when it was time to go up or be next, my sister would walk all the way down and was like, I can't do it. And I was like, Yolanda, now you done stood in line with us for hours for this roller coaster, and she wouldn't get on. So to this day, her kids have not really experienced a roller coaster. Now, Amari likes Ferris wheels. His auntie don't like Ferris wheels, because my dad, when we went on the Ferris wheel at Babalo, he would turn the thing and you swirl and all. I was like, that's too much. Now I will get on a roller coaster, but I can't do his Ferris wheels. So Quentin doesn't do roller coasters either. So it's like, oh, them poor kids, they never gonna experience, you know. She's like, well, I don't know if I should allow them, you know, to experience it or not, because she ain't about to come up there to save you. I'm sorry, because she's not going up there. And then with the thing with swimming, Daddy used to throw us in the water when we were young. Either sink or swim.
Oh man.
Traumatized.
And so one of the things he was like, you have to conquer it as a young person to start swimming. And once we started getting used to water, it was, you know, we would go to camp every summer. We would go to the beach. He made sure that we all learned how to swim. So we've been swimming since we were 5, 6 years old. And so this is something that we like riding a bike. We never forgot. This is something that we'll keep up. And so when you said that, and I was like, you don't know how to swim.
It's real out here.
So that was good. To like you said, to expose them at a young age is really good. Just like exposing them to reading early.
Mhm.
Um, and I have noticed that with most of the kids, once you start them really early, even before going to school, they're so advanced um, by teaching them early how to speak and do your numbers, spell your name, and all this stuff. So when they go to school, they're actually kind of bored because they're already advanced in that. So are you guys still homeschooling or no?
Well, we completed this year for homeschooling, and the plan is to send them in September after 2020. I don't put anything in stone, but that is the plan as of right now.
Okay.
So,
So they have been homeschooling since how old? Or were they ever in school?
Oh, that's funny that you say that, because okay, so they were at home. The oldest was at home for 4 years, the youngest for 2.5. We sent them off. They completed that year, and then half of the following year. So I feel like they've only been away for 18 months, and then they were back at home.
Okay.
So the majority of their time has been at home.
Wow. So even if, I mean, just to say, so they have the good thing of a balance between being at home in school or actually in school. So do you have you noticed any difference between like actually being homeschool versus actually out of school?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Um, man, the difference between the morning and the night. I mean, being small from having get up so early for school, meltdowns, leaving, meltdowns, picking them up. So just that dynamic. They didn't have any colds virtually most of this time up until they went to a camp and then got a cold. And this just happened this summer. So their immune system was better, less stressed. We're just talking about the kid, just the kid. My oldest, she's like, this is next best thing next to, cupcakes type of thing. She's like, I love it. I can do it. I miss my friends, but I like being at home. The youngest, she gets, she enjoys it. She gives me, the runaround because I'm mom.
Right.
So we had some times I would have to come to the principal office and say I'm submitting my resignation letter.
Right.
But all in all, to see her blossom, creativity, like she has the opportunity to really blossom, and we get a chance to see her creatively blossom. So just to see them flourish and spend more time in the things that they're interested in is awesome. It was awesome. So it was a blessing, for our family.
So have you had the talk with them that it's a possibility that they might actually go to school in the fall?
Oh, they know, and we've visited the school together. They got a chance to meet their upcoming teacher and things like that. And it was fine. They weren't like super excited, but they weren't like super afraid or nervous either. They're kind of indifferent a little bit. But yeah, overall, I think they're looking forward to it or whatnot.
So I think I had talked to my sister and I had found out that you guys had just came back from a vacation where we're actually going in less than a week and a half from now, I believe. Up at Traverse City, right?
Yeah.
So I think last year I wanted to actually go to the Cherry Festival. So how was that?
Oh, it was great. This was our third year going to the Cherry Festival. They didn't have it last year due to the pandemic, but we
Right.
went 2 years prior. And it's awesome. They have activities, things for the kids to do. It's right next to the beach, and to be honest, that's their highlight. Like we. So when we get to Traverse City, after we checked into the hotel, got changed, the first place we went to was the beach. And Damaris having so much fun. She said, "Daddy, I love the Cherry Festival." I'm like, you ain't never been to the
Right.
Cherry
You're not
Festival.
even at the
Cherry.
festival. You at
You
the
at the
beach.
Yeah. So I mean, they having fun in the sand and the water. I'm over there freezing. Derrica's over there looking good, getting a suntan. But I mean, it was fun. It's always a great time. And then we also enjoy going to a local cherry orchard and picking cherries. We pick like
14 pounds
of
14
cherries.
pounds of cherries.
Wow.
Yeah. So we still got some. We're working down the list, working them down. But it just overall it's a great experience. So we enjoy doing it.
So on speaking of food, so the importance, can you speak about the importance of starting your kids early with basically eating the right way? We have been actually talking last weekend, no, actually this week, about the balanced life is
Yeah.
very important from head to toe to be balanced. How important is it to you to, make sure that your girls are, well, your whole family is eating right?
Yeah, it's very important for us. It's a foundation of our development, of our health. I mean, it all boils down to what you put in your body. So, I mean, we were very intentional from the start, from Derrica nursing, both of our daughters well past the age of 1, making sure they're getting a lot of the nutrients that come with breast milk and the benefits that come with it, even emotionally and things like that, from that to the foods and what we eat now. I'm not gonna pretend like we eat healthy every single meal. We do allow our girls to eat Wendy's every once in a while.
They eat cupcakes.
But for the most part, we always try to have vegetables with every meal, starting with breakfast. And and they're becoming accustomed to it, as Derrica mentioned, their immune system over the past year and a half has been stronger. We haven't had to send them to the doctor for really anything except for checkups. So and they'll get in their modes where they don't want to eat a vegetable, or like I said, they may find a caterpillar or something like that. But at the end of the day, they're accustomed to eating it, and Deanna, which one thing that I love, she'll tell you if something is too sweet. She'll be like, "Daddy, I don't want to finish that brownie. It's too sweet for me." And I'm like, "Yes." So,
Right.
so just kind of training their taste buds to recognize what is good for their bodies, recognize what is not so good. So although they may like, candy and stuff like other kids, they know that they may not feel the best after they eat it, and then of course we screen out a lot of that stuff too, So yeah, it's very important to start early. The earlier the better, to helping them understand the importance behind it, why this is such a good food for you and what it does for your body, that's important too. And even if it may seem like it's going in one ear and out the other, we believe it's sticking, so.
And making it also connect to something that they can understand, like if boo-booing. Okay, your tummy hurts because you need to go. If you don't eat your vegetables, you won't go, so we don't want your tummy to hurt. So being able to connect it to things they understand. We talk about it a lot. We just came out of potty training, a few years ago. So it's been a conversation since they, have gotten here. So tying it to tangible things. Oh man, I'm sick. Well, we got to make sure you get all your vegetables in so you can keep your immune system up. So it's a, it has its tussle moments, but because you can have discussions about it at a level that they can understand without all the science, just the tangible things, being able to go to, well, you haven't had enough water. Let's go see what color the water is. We know if you had enough water or not. So just those tangible things that are foundational. When they get older, they can understand even the more of, wow, okay, that makes sense, the science behind it. So science at their level.
Right. Which makes sense. Like you said, starting off good habits young goes a long way. Especially being active, with being in sports or just being outside in general, especially when you know there might be underlying health issues that run in the family. You don't want to start that off
For
young.
sure. For sure.
So like again, I commend you guys. I'm always telling my sister I'm proud of her. With my niece and nephew of being in the garden, helping out with the quail, which I touched the other day.
Yay!
Yeah, that was very interesting.
Go ahead.
For the first time, she tried to. Well, Mira tried to hand it to me, and the way she was handing it to me, it wasn't gonna work. So I think I dropped it.
No, I mean they bounce back. They find a way. They fight.
Yes. It was one that was all white, which was, she said that normally doesn't happen, but eventually Londa handed it to me. She was like, "You're holding it too hot tight, let it go a little bit." I said, "You know what? I have my share. Here you go." Go back.
Yeah, you did it.
I did. So that was very interesting. Amira loves it. And that is something different. If you knew my sister growing up, that was not Londa at all. So to see her in her element is great, and her kids with her is great. Same thing with you guys. And so have the kids put out anything where what they want to be when they grow up, or what they're like majorly interested in?
Not really, and we try not to put that pressure on them at such a young age. Unfortunately, our culture, that's like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they don't know. They just having fun playing outside, what I'm saying? Or whatever activity they're doing. Demira wants to be a mermaid.
I'm here for it.
Her imagination is like, really, really big. So it's like, we do try to see what they're interested in and what they gravitate towards, and continue to feed that interest. Like, Deanna showed interest, in music, because we're surrounding her with different things, right? So now she's taking drum lessons and things like that, and she's had some piano lessons and things like that. So, just trying to feed some of those interests. Art. Our kids love to draw, they love to paint. That's a big part of what we expose them to, and their creativity. So
they love experiments. They love experiments, sure. Seeing reactions and things like that. And I know one of the bigger things I would tell, because one time my kid got frustrated. My oldest, she was like, "Mommy, I don't know what I want to be," because older people would, why, and your kids, because they trust you, they express, they might smile and just nod, but they say, "Hey, Mom, this is really bugging me out. I don't know." And I said, "You don't have to know. You tell them I'm going to be what God calls me to be. I'm going to be who God calls me to be." And I mean, who can say anything to that?
Right,
who
right.
Can say, who can say, I'm gonna be who God calls me to be. Just be the best you can be, and whatever you become. So I'm curious to see what you become too.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's amazing. Kids, as they say, kids say the darnest things. They really do. When you actually realize and appreciate that they are just little people, really. They're finding out about themselves. Sure, we were finding out ourselves at 20 something. We didn't know.
Yeah, for sure.
30 something.
30, right. I was like,
right.
Things happen, you reinvent yourself, you revamp, and you're doing all these things. It's not like the end all of all, you know what I'm saying? Just because I'm doing what I was doing 10 years ago doesn't mean I'm going to be still doing it. And which happens all the time. You lose interest, and some things, and then another part of you that you didn't even know existed comes out. Who
Yeah.
thought I was gonna be doing this? I didn't.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So it's okay. What else did I wanted to talk about? I know we talked about school, we talked about the homeschooling, we talked about eating habits, which I knew because I've been around you guys about eating healthy, which is what about you guys have any thoughts about going out of the country? I know Derrica, you've been out of the country before. I'm not sure about you, Deon.
Yeah, I've been out the country quite a bit. Actually, for my job, I'm a global account manager at Siemens, so that's actually traveling a lot internationally. My last trip was like January 2020, right before the pandemic happened. I had to go to Europe and went to France and Germany over there. So yeah, we've both traveled quite a bit. We got a trip coming up. So for our 11th year wedding anniversary, we're going to Belize. Just Derrica and I, we got the kids situated. So this will be our first extended vacation by ourselves since children. So
Wow.
we're so so yeah, and then as the world's conditions improve, with the pandemic and so forth and so on, we definitely intend to have our girls traveling a little bit more with us. I mean, I would love to bring my family, even on one of my international trips. Our daughters, they have been in Mexico before with us, and they got their little passports, which is so cute. But yeah, travel is something that we both enjoy, and definitely want our children to experience that and see that the world, is a pretty big place.
And that's good too. And I can see that. I really do. I can see that as a whole of traveling, seeing the world, exploring while we're able to explore. Um, and that I feel is important as a family. I know with when we were growing up, my parents made it almost mandatory, like a thing that at least we would go on at least 3 or 4 trips as a family every year. Whether it was to Wheels End, whether it was Sea World at the time, Kings Island, things of that nature. We would go on trips with the church. Make sure that we it's something. It's a world outside of Michigan, and so that was very important to my parents to actually go out and explore, see some things that is real. We just don't see it in books or in the movies. You can go. So I'm trying to think. What was the other thing? So what is outside of Belize? What is something else that the Hamiltons got up their sleeves?
That's a trip to Texas, Thanksgiving. That's where a lot of my family's from, on my father's side. So looking forward to getting down and seeing my side of the family that I haven't seen in a couple of years. So yeah, outside of that, I would say nothing else really major. We have a few more summer camps going on with the girls. Then we'll be, into the school year and just taking it one day at a time, one step at a time.
And Derrica, if the kids or when the kids will be at school, what are you going to be doing? Are you going back into photography?
Everything is still up in the air because we own a franchise. So just the work, I mean, I've been thinking about working on possibly selling it, possibly working it. I'm still making decisions about it. So that's probably the biggest thing. I sit on a couple boards for a couple nonprofits. One's in development and one's been around for a long time. So there's like other things going on, but not concrete to say this is the start date. I'm taking off. I might be taking off with it, might be selling it. So yeah. So
Stay tuned.
Yeah, that's it. Stay tuned, with that. And yeah, everything just a day at a time, man. I know when we had talked some time ago, it was just like, I'm like, really like, what's going on? Making decisions and just working it out, really. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Do the girls take time to I guess take pictures and things of that nature, or no?
Absolutely. They have, I have no issues with them touching and picking up my equipment, as long as they're properly handling it. They're always taking pictures at one point in time, they were always using our phone. Then still using our phone, even though we got them a little, tablet, little camera. They're like the kids' camera. It doesn't take as crisp pictures. The fact that they can identify what's a good picture and what's not a good picture. So they have these little kid tablets they can take pictures on. They still rather, use what we're using to take pictures. Yeah, all the time. Like I would go outside, even as a hobby. I mean, it's still, outside of a business thing, just taking pictures just for fun. We're always taking pictures of something. They'll take pictures of flowers. They'll go take pictures of their pet bunny. And I always find, or they'll take pictures of their stuffed animals. They'll pose them together, and, and do things like that. So yeah, they pay attention. They watch. Because with my franchise, I will be taking pictures of small children. So even my oldest has gone with me, before over the summer, into daycare center. So she got a chance to watch me or pass me the tickle toy or, and things like that, help me set up. And when we did mini sessions, kids helped me set up. So no matter what I'm involved in, they, I always wanted to be something that's open where they can come and feel a part of and be a part of as well. So.
That's good. That's really good. So that helps them still be helpful, as well as watching to see what my parents do. And you'd be surprised, maybe 3 or 4 years from now, they'll come back and tell you what they remembered the most about you when they were watching, when you wasn't even paying attention. Even the things that you say, your mannerisms. Are there things that they do or say that surprise you sometimes?
All the time.
Oh yeah.
All the time.
No filter.
I believe it. I think my sister said my niece says some things sometimes. I'd be like, I ain't ready for that conversation. Not at all. not at all. Not at all. And it's amazing that they really their look and outtake on life itself. We go back into, I wish I could go back to being a kid where, you didn't have to worry about bills, you didn't have to worry about nothing, just get up and be happy, be yourself. And so that is good. Like I said, I have been watching you guys for a minute. And it's good to show the world that love still exists, especially Black love still exists. A good household, of course, it's not all peaches and cream all the time. We're not even gonna lie about that.
No, man. Yeah, it takes work. It takes work. It takes dedication. It takes being intentional on both sides. For me, for Derrica, like we're like, we need to come together and really focus here, and that's what we've been doing. And it hasn't been all peaches and cream, hasn't been all roses. We've had some rough patches, but praise God, we made it through. And we're just continuing to learn how to love one another better, how to serve one another better, and yeah, just being intentional with everything that we do. not taking time or anything for granted, you know.
So let me ask you, Deon, there's this stigma, right? That it's difficult for a man to be in a household with a whole bunch of women.
Yeah, it has its moments. It has its moments, you know, especially early on. You know, it's getting better now that you know the girls can kind of maneuver and you know they still take naps and stuff like that, especially our youngest. But yeah, there's times where I'm like, okay, you know, when's my next work trip? But yeah, you know, it's a blessing though. You know, I understand the responsibility, you know, that I have in honoring my queen, you know, and raising my princesses. So, you know, yeah, even though at times it can be challenging and I could feel outnumbered and may want to hook up with the fellas or like I said, you know, have a little breather. It never gets too overwhelming, you know, because it's like, okay, let me get back in the game. Like this is a marathon, you know, it's not a sprint, you know, it's not a relay race. I'm in this thing for the long haul, you know, and let's make it all work. So yeah, it takes a lot of sacrifice on my side, you know, and on their side too. But yeah, it's
We'll be adjusting all together.
Yeah, I mean what I'm getting at is, the family dynamic constantly always changes. Once you feel like you have conquered this, here comes something else. Like, oh, now we have to, make adjustments. It might be the work schedule. It might be, like I said, the kids going back to school. Adjustments on that. And then they haven't reached teenage years yet. I'll be praying for you.
Right. Thank you. I take all prayers. I got one little gray strand right here, cut from the beard poking out. But yeah, I'll take all the prayers I can get.
Right. And also I noticed when we just recently saw each other, the communication that they have with you guys. And I pray that stays that way, to be able to tell you truthfully how they feel, what's going on, their thoughts. And that's something very important that we don't want to alienate you know what I'm trying to say. You don't want to end that, because especially with them going into different environments, there might be some things that they hear, see, that they're not familiar with, that they can actually trust and talk to you about it. And I've noticed that with them at the park recently at the graduation party. So again, like I said, I commend you guys for intentional on how to raise your family the way you see fit.
Amen.
That is really, really good.
It's a journey, you know. So yeah, I think we have this, but all in all, I think we're heading in the right direction, and you know, we're trusting God to lead us every step of the way, and that His grace will cover us when we do make mistakes, when we do fall short, because we're not perfect. We're not the perfect married couple. We're not the perfect parents. You know, we're just here by God's grace and doing the best that we can. You know, so we believe that the fruit is gonna be really well. You know, years down the line, we'll see the benefits of how we approach certain things. So.
So, Derrica, Deon been doing a lot of talking. So what is something that you would like to I can't hear you.
The question went to him. No, I didn't hear what you said. I'm listening.
It's I don't know what it's like, lagging a little bit.
Okay. So
So now
I can hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
can.
can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So, Derrica, what is something that you would like to see, or an advice that you can give to other mothers?
Mm, man, always seek to grow. Um, always unpack those things that were not revealed as an issue until after you had kids.
Mhm.
Just continue to just work on that, work on that, pray on that. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. God has graced you for that role. He's picked you for that role because he's giving you those kids. Um, man, don't be afraid to rest. Don't be afraid to rest, and always, tell your spouse if you're married, you love them. Don't forget to not hug them and love on them as well. Um, man, pay attention to your kids. Pay attention, love them for who they are and not who you want them to be. Play with them. Even when you don't always feel like it, because you're looking like, not today. But just learn how to be with them, learning how to be with them. I would, and that doesn't mean you always do it. You just be sitting here and
Right.
just watching, but just learning how to be just with them. Does that make sense to? I think it might have frozen.
Yeah, I think it keeps lagging. I don't know what that is.
Okay. Yep. Because I just see you're talking, I hear you talking, and then the face, and then the face is different. So yeah. And pray, man. Pray. I'm always praying and a lot of devotionals that help me grow. Even prayers to pray over your children, pray over them, even for their adult years. Pray, as the Lord leads. I use guided prayers that help me to just pray for every area and stage daily. Because we don't know what world they're walking into when they leave your home, and you just want God to prepare them for whatever they're about to face. And,
Mm-hmm.
the only way you can really do that is divinely, is divinely. So, yeah.
And as a couple, as a married couple, how important, or can you tell the people how important it is to still focus on you guys, like date nights, just after they go to bed,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Man, it's so important. And I'll never forget when baby number 2 was dedicated. And we had already, knew some of these things, but he the pastor at the time had said, as long as everything is good with you two, then the kids know that everything's all right. No matter what's going on outside in the world. If everything is good with you two. So where the foundation, where the stability, you have, their brains are developing, there's neurons and things connecting, there's rationale that they don't even have yet. So if they can't look towards the ones that brought them into this world as the stableness, because the world is always changing, their inner world is always changing. But what is that constant? That constant is the love between mom and dad as husband and wife, and them seeing that, resting in that. Like when the kids see us hugging, you can tell how bubbly they get. They might circle around and they want to jump in and hug too. Just the connection there is just so important. And then some, of course, we talk to a lot of older couples, and they'll say eventually they're gonna move on and leave, and y'all gonna have each other. So don't, lose sight of each other. And depending on, where you are, it's easy to do. It can be easy to do if you're not intentional. There can be drifts, there can be, so much busyness with activities and work. You could be flying. And if my business was full gone, we could be missing each other. And we went through small spurts like that, and then the kids are like, they frowns. They don't know what they see mommy and daddy hug. They melting down and they tired too. Everybody just tired, So, but when we draw in, everything is shut down and we close in. We're not running off the gatherings and events and activities, and we just zone in and just sit. And once again, learning to just be with each other. That experience just brings everybody back to balance, back to middle, back, just back to themselves. In that it doesn't cost anything outside of your time to get together, So so it's very important. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I will add is, it's all about prioritization, right? So we've prioritized our marriage and the health of our marriage, because we know that when that's strong, as Derrica mentioned, the kids will be strong emotionally, physically. So we've been intentional to make sure we've had date nights along the way, people that we can call on or ask for breaks here and there. And then, I've reprioritized some things as well. I don't really watch TV anymore. That time is dedicated to, listening to my wife, helping her unpack, just us, time for us to gel and connect and be on the same wavelength. So yeah, it's we're always growing as individuals, so we have to continue to communicate and to learn each other as we're growing, together. So
That's good. I'm hoping that the people who are watching the show really have gathered some important information to be passed on to take into consideration when raising children, and to make sure that you love on one another. And that is the whole point of your first ministry is home. And so that's another reason why I picked you guys for this topic, because I have noticed it and I am super proud of you guys and what you're doing, even though, again, I'm not in your home, but what you have displayed has perfectly needed to be shared with the world. So, again, thank you guys for joining in. Thank you. So, everyone, thank the Hamiltons for sharing their story with us, sharing their love with us today. And again, when something else happens, or maybe when they go to Belize or something like that, again, I'll get them on the show again. We're looking forward to the school year in the fall.
Yeah.
And so, and whatever endeavor that they have, Deon, tell them about your shirts before we get off.
Yeah, real quick. So I have a line called Destined to Be Great. Just pretty much inspired by all the greatness that has come out of Detroit. More so in the recent years, a lot of our peers that, grew up in challenging situations, whether it be family situations, school situations, but have not let those obstacles, stop them from pursuing greatness. And so it's just kind of inspired, by that, just a kid from the east side of Detroit, ... because your story is being written as we speak. It's not defined by where you come from, but it's a starting place. And that, sky's the limit. A lot of us are out here doing great things, pursuing greatness. And but at the end of the day, just get from the east side or west side of Detroit. So I have those shirts. I can drop maybe my website later in the link in the chat. And then also you can find them at Simply Casual Clothing Store on Livernois in Detroit as well. So
Okay. Good. So just make sure later on, once we get off, that you put that in there, as well as I will share it. I do believe in definitely supporting one another. Every guest that I have on here, if they have music, they have shirts, whatever they're doing, I'm definitely going to share it. That's why we're all here, for the connection. Again, we're one person away, one help away, one advice away from where you need to be in your destiny, and it is all the truth, one way or another. So thank you guys again. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I love you guys, and I will
Love
talk to
you
you soon.
Thanks
too.
for having me. All
See
right.
you
That's
soon.
good. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.